What's up, Mario from Xtreme. Today you're going to get the first look at what's going to be the next build. So I know I said I was going to do a hot rod next, but I couldn't really see how I was going to finance the whole thing. I got chatting with Rob from Xtreme Plasma, and he said, what about doing a build for him to help promote his company? So that's what I'm doing basically. And the reason I'm going to be doing a bike, I think what is sat there is the ideal sort of machine for someone building bikes. And then when it's done, he's going to take it to the shows where he has his table set up and use it, you know, as a promotional tool. And I can use it to promote my stuff as well. So yeah, I think it's going to work out really well. But I'll show you the bike now.
I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Right, so this is the candidate for the big chop. As you can see, it's already been made into something that looks quite good from afar. I bought this basically because it had all the bits I needed and not really any other bits that I didn't need. Also I really like the wheels. I'm not sure what the wheels are from. They're not from the Honda. Don't think the forks are either. But this is a CB550 1978. It's been hard-tailed and obviously had all this put on it. There's all filler in the frame. The plan is to just use the engine, forks, wheels, the brakes and stuff. I'm going to completely scrap the frame and I'm going to make my own frame. And I want to try and make the whole frame on the CNC plasma table. So it'll all be kind of like... So these were the arms that I made for the mongrel rear arms. I'll put links to that video if you haven't seen that. But if you imagine a whole frame sort of made up in that kind of design, almost like I-beam, and it all kind of slot in together and then all weld together. Scrap the tank. I'm going to make my own tank. I'll probably reuse the seat. I'm going to make my own bars. Don't like those bars. Obviously get rid of all that. The foot controls I'm going to move further forward. I'm going to make all my own forward foot controls with all the sort of mechanisms to run the brakes and the gear shift. The main criteria really that all I cared about was that it ran well, which apparently it did, but it definitely doesn't. It's running on 3 cylinders and it's very difficult to actually get it to start. First job, I'm going to take the carbs off, go through those and just try and get the thing to run a bit better. I don't know if you can see what's going on up here, but so this looks nice. It's all body filler, which is all sort of chipping out of the frame. I don't know if you can see that, but this whole headstock is just slopping back and forward. Found out the back brake didn't work, and after a quick look, you can kind of see why that doesn't work. The angle of the dangle is all out and it just hits on the frame there. So the back brake doesn't actually even get to the point where it can stop anything. I was definitely a little bit gutted about this because the forks are something that obviously I want to reuse and they're in pretty bad shape, but you can get these re-chromed for probably like a couple £100. when your shifter's too big for the, get the tack nails out and just hammer them on in there, crank her up, job done. Does have this cool tank though. So yeah, it's definitely got its faults, but most of the things that are wrong with it don't really matter to me anyway. And I bought it without looking at it, bought it off eBay, and when I got there, once I pointed out everything that was wrong with it, you know, we came to a much more reasonable sort of price on the bike, so I ended up getting it for, you know, a reasonable deal for what it is. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It's good base to start with. First thing I'm going to do is just strip these carbs off, give them a clean out, and see if we can just get it where it'll run on 4 cylinders. And hopefully that is carb related and not something in the engine, and we'll go from there. So I'm not really going to be starting this project until I'm you know, well on the way with the paint job on the mongrel. There's got quite a lot going on at the minute, so I just, for now, I want to just get the thing to run a bit better before I start stripping everything down, and just check that we haven't got any sort of major engine issues. So I've already checked for spark on that cylinder that it wasn't running on, in case you were wondering. Grimy. Look at the level of crust. Just giving them a good clean. Two of these little jets are blocked through the end. You can't even see any light through them. So all the that's all it'll take sometimes is just like one little bit of dirt in one of the jets can. Alright, so if I look down at all the slides are sort of out of balance. You can tell just by looking at the gap at the bottom of the, it's probably difficult to see, but the little gap that the air would pass through just on idle is slightly different on the carbs, so we need to just try and get that at least so it looks somewhere near. I'm not sure if you can see, but that looks better than it did. See how the this end choke opens before any of the others, so we need to adjust that as well. Alright, let's slap these back together and see if we got any improvement. Let's see what she's got to say now. Oh. Alright, that's a right result. I had to kick it about 300 times to even get it to barely run last time, and it starts literally like I barely even have to kick it now and it fires into life, so it's running on all 4 cylinders as well, which is a bonus. So that's good. The engine actually sounds pretty good. The carbs still aren't quite where they need to be. They need a bit of adjustment. I'm happy to hear it running like that because it sounded so bad previously. But I think we must celebrate this monumental occasion with a burnout. Check out how easy she starts now. Magic. I'm happy with that just running on all cylinders, and I can tell that engine is fine. It just needs a bit of fine tuning with the carbs. So yeah, I want to get sort of going a little bit with the paint work on the mongrel before I get fully stuck into this. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to work on designing all the frame. And then by the time I actually start working on the bike, I should already have the frame all designed and just ready to cut and sort of weld together. If you want to see the last bike I built, put a video link up here somewhere or at the end of the video when the video is finished. It's going to be it for this one. Just watching. See you on the next one.